Hey, it's Chris from The Verge, and I'm standing in front of the Chevrolet Bolt EV. Now, this is a very, very important vehicle for GM. They first announced it as a concept last year at the Detroit Auto Show, so it's been about one full year between concept and prototype. This car is camouflaged, obviously. When GM unveils it at CES, we're going to see the whole car. But for our test drive here today, it isn't quite final. Now, let's talk a bit about this car and the specs. They're saying under $30,000 for this car after tax rebates. And it's a practical EV. It can do over 200 miles on range. They're also saying about 7 seconds for a 0 to 60 run, or a little bit under that, which is not terrible. It's not a performance car, but it could be worse. So anyway, let's take a test drive. This is the very first lap in the Bolt that I'm doing. It's definitely a relaxed steering ratio. I think that this car is probably designed a little bit more for comfort than it is for performance, but it's not a slouch. I mean, I feel I'm only pushing the accelerator like 10%. I think that the thing can move. I feel totally comfortable going around this pretty tight test track, and if you mash the accelerator, you can get you can put a smile on your face. This is awesome. The fact that it's on full time is very interesting, because normally with these electronic rearview mirrors, I feel like they're only on in reverse. So to have it on full time is kind of novel. The Bolt is obviously not a Model S competitor. It's not designed to be. If anything, it's a little bit more comparable to BMW's i3, which I've driven. You can watch my video drive of that car. But the difference is that the i3 was not designed to be a long-range EV. If you're super lucky, you could probably get 90 or 100 miles out of it. This is a true EV that GM is saying will get over 200 miles between charges, which makes it practical as far as I'm concerned. The infotainment system for the Bolt is all new, and it's unique to the Bolt, which is interesting. They're not, at least right now, putting this system in any other car. Thinking back to like the original Chevy Bolt, there was a lot of room for improvement. They've obviously made it here. The display is huge. It's a 10.2-inch display. It's like physically larger than my entire hand. And you can see how this works here. There are different boxes. These are all widgets, and these are configurable. You can have different widgets in different places, and you can configure the location of those widgets by hitting the Set It button. You can choose different layouts, standard layout. There you go, and you can see the radio is bigger now. And any of these widgets, you can click this make full screen icon, and it pops up full screen. So after several laps, many laps, with the Bolt here at Chevy's tent outside Las Vegas Convention Center, I'm not car sick. Quite often when I'm on a track with a high performance car, I make myself car sick. This isn't a high performance car, and it's not an exciting car in that sense of the word, but it's exciting for different reasons, right? It's the first affordable high-range EV to hit the market, or will very likely be, assuming that GM makes its launch target of the end of 2016. And I think that it still can be very fun for the driver in many ways. The infotainment system is legitimately one of the better ones that I've used. The car on the road still feels fast. It's just not lightning quick. There is a sense of EV-ness to it, where when you hit the accelerator, the acceleration is instantaneous. I need a lot more time with it to be able to say it's any good, but my first impression is positive. So we'll see later this year. Hopefully we'll have a full review up before the car is actually on the road. I'm Chris Ziegler with The Verge. Keep it locked. We're gonna have a lot more from CES this week, obviously, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page at The Verge.